Sunday, the 15th of April, 2012. Anger never triumphed over peace of mind. We may need to return to the bow and arrow as a race in order to evolve spiritually and just learn how we can best help and serve others. Reaping what the Buddhists might call good karma, and sowing fruit which will ripen through positive and kind deeds wherever we go. That represents noble aspiration. Veering away from the deeper stuff, and I reflect further. Tomorrow marks something like 14 weeks after fags and the booze. And I can safely say I would love to get pissed. Not so sure about smoking. I guess I've successfully brainwashed myself sufficiently to find it noxious enough so that if I did get drunk and fancy smoking, I'm sure I would swiftly regret it, rather than enjoy it. Losing or letting go of conditioned denial is not so easy. The smoker chooses, consciously or otherwise, to deny bringing into conscious awareness the consequences of the process of lighting and smoking the poisonous objects. But sometimes the mind, via the ego, just needs to cling on to that kind of unproductive shit. That's what I used to do anyway. I would regularly ignore the voice imploring or encouraging me to stop. Perhaps it is easier not to face up to making changes, and I guess we all do it. The reasons are manifold. Oftentimes, I would turn a blind eye or lend a deaf ear to my inner voice, my internal director, the conscience, the one who knows what's best for me, deep down. When I explain to anyone interested that I'm off the booze and the fags for 3 months, they might comment something like, well done, or that's great. I don't really hear that. Compliments are nice, but I'm hearing the voice inside my head that tells me I'm still not doing enough to support my wife and kids, or I'm eating too much chocolate, or spending too much time on the laptop, and not getting enough exercise. Perhaps I'm being a bit harsh on myself. It's not about guilt. I know I'd be a better person if I quit gambling, just like I knew I'd be a better person if I jacked in the drink and the smokes. But quitting things isn't always the answer. Starting new things, picking up new habits, is the way forward. Gambling is only a problem if you lose. Surely if you just win every single time you gamble, then it doesn't become a problem, does it? The problem only lies in the losing. Joking apart, addictions are no laughing matter. The reality is that destructive and detrimental behavior patterns can emerge with any kind of conditioned, habitual response to a stimulus, and hence the popularity of interruptive marketing, advertising in particular. Orwell once famously described it as the rattling of a stick inside a swill bucket, and although he was being tongue-in-cheek of course, he wasn't far wrong. What is with the plethora of programs on television these days advertising and promoting gambling? Channels purely for bingo and poker, phone-in hotlines to play in some game that's rigged. Who on earth dreams this stuff up? We watch the children's channels because they have educational programs for the younger ones, but what really annoys me is that in between them there is this incessant stream of bullshit irritating adverts for insurance companies and loan sharks. One of them even claimed that you could lump all your debts into one easy to manage payment, which all seemed grand, only for the small print at the end, which flashed up so quickly you would be forgiven for missing it, and which stated that the typical APR was approximately 38%. What? Just make a quick call to one of their advisors today and see if you can get approval. Approval for a loan of say $5,000, only they make sure it's secured against your house because they know you'll have to repay it several times over because of the exorbitant interest charges. Nasty. But, of course, don't forget that they're there to help solve your financial problems. More like exploiting the vulnerable, who are either too stupid to see the scam or too desperate to care. Then we switch over the channels, and again there's this disturbing volume of adverts, this time for websites, waiting for you to join up with them to play poker online, gaming sites, mobiles with casino apps which can be downloaded to play bingo on your phone, and all manner of other catchy, vibrant, colourful, and seemingly exciting reasons to gamble. I had a terrible time with a gambling addiction in England, and, even though I still partake in a wee flutter here and there, usually on live sports, I can now see how I was relentlessly primed and programmed. It is a massive industry, and anyone with half a brain cell can make the connection between the ads for the loan sharks and the ads encouraging the gambling. Anyone that knew me back when I lived in England knew that I couldn't walk past one of those bloody fruit machines without shoving money into it. The addiction had such a terrible and desperate grip on my mind, the more I won, the worse it got, and the more I lost, the more I gambled to win it back. Like I said before, it was a vicious cycle, a bit like the fags and the booze. Some people get addicted to other things, aside from drink, drugs and gambling, like sex. One chap who I used to work with, and who shall obviously remain nameless, came into work one day and confessed that he was in a terrible situation. I was working in the dispatch area of a huge warehouse in Wakefield. The people there were mostly sound, but regarded me with a high deal of suspicion, since my dad was one of the bosses up there in the offices, and they knew it was just a summer job for me. I actually worked quite hard when I wasn't sleeping or hiding somewhere. Anyway, there was a group of about 3 or 4 of us, and we were keen to hear why he was so upset. When he explained that his neighbour had asked him a favour, we didn't really think it was much, but when he said that the favour involved his neighbour's wife, our ears pricked up a small bit. Then, when he said his mate had asked him over to the house and told him to go upstairs when he called round, we were not sure what to believe. When he swore that his neighbour's wife had been lying on her bed naked and waiting for him to arrive, we all got positively animated. "No way!" I exclaimed. "You dirty bastard," announced another lad. "No," he protested. "That's the thing," he insisted, perhaps not realising how funny he sounded in his thick West Yorkshire accent. "It weren't me at all," he continued. "It were her. She wanted it like," he explained. "You jammy bastard," chimed in one of the other lads, who had joined us from the small canteen, where we'd had tea and coffee on break. "Aye, I thought so too at first," added our mate ruefully. "So, did you give her one or what?" asked the new arrival, cutting to the chase and asking what we all wanted to know. "Well, yeah, course I did, like. Right there and then, like. It were fantastic. She loved it." "Seriously?" I asked, amazed that people just did that. "I swear, yep." "So what were fucking problem then? What's up with you?" he was pressed. We all laughed, but he was serious. "Well, it happened again, and then again, and now it's got out of hand," he confessed. "I wish I had that problem," sighed one of the other lads. "Jammy bastard," muttered another. "No, it's all wrong," he protested. "Now I feel bad about me girlfriend, like." "Get her to join in," quipped one of the other lads, and we all laughed again. "Yesterday morning," he continued, "I went round again to finish it, like, and she were there in bed again, like, waiting for me." "And?" we prompted. "She were really dirty and all, like, she fucking loved it." "You didn't finish it." "How could I?" he pleaded. We understood. "So, where was her husband?" I asked, slightly confused. Such was my innocence regarding the shenanigans which went on behind closed doors and net curtains in Barnsley. "Well, that were a problem and all," he continued. "He were there, sat in chair, playing with himself, like." "You what?" "Aye," he confirmed. "No shit. What did he say?" "He wanted me there, like. He said he wanted what his wife wanted." "Really? Jesus, where can I get neighbours like that?" joked one of the other lads. "And what did you think about him being there?" "Well, I didn't really mind at first. I were too busy banging his wife. It were weird though, he were really getting off on it, like," he added thoughtfully, clearly ill at ease with the whole situation. "You lot get back to work, break's over," shouted one of the supervisors, looking over at the small crowd gathered around. We stirred, but none of us was going anywhere. "So, let me get this straight," interrupted another lad, who had been listening all along, but had said nothing. His eyes sparkled with mischief as he continued. "So, your neighbour asked you to do him a favour. You went round his house, fucked his wife, then went round again and fucked his wife again. And what, were that the favour?" Yeah, pretty much, he confirmed, but it's got out of hand, and I feel bad for me girlfriend, she knows nowt about it, he claimed. Well, who the fuck is going to tell her? Asked one of the lads. Not fucking me, he replied, and we all laughed again. But they're friends like, he added. The girlfriend and the neighbour's wife, he explained. Shit, muttered one of the other lads. Do you reckon she'll find out? No idea, he offered, throwing his arms out by his side. But I want to finish it. I feel bad like. Don't want to go round again. His childlike logic and endearing honesty had to be admired. However, it only took a second for us lot to figure out the solution. Send Steve round, blurted one of the other lads. He'll give her one, won't you, lad? And we all laughed again. Aye, that I will. Send me round instead, he nodded, smiling. Seriously though, what the fuck am I going to do? Pleaded the man himself. Have a foursome, chimed in another lad. Bit fucking late for that now, added another. Both her and her husband want to do it again, like she's mad for more, he reflected, clearly not sure whether to be proud of his prowess or more worried that his services would be required ad infinitum. Get back to work, you lot, came the shout again, this time with more authority, since it drowned out the news bulletin on the radio, and we broke it up, stretching and shuffling with intent, while smirking, nodding, and winking. Go on, lad. Fucking stud you are, mate. Doing it for all of us, mate. Dirty bastard, were all some of the comments that could be heard as we roused. I were knackered, he protested, sensing sympathy was thin on the ground. When I got home last night from neighbour's house, the girlfriend wanted a jump and all. Jammy bastard, reiterated one of the lads. You're lucky, said another lad. Well, it doesn't bloody feel like it, he objected, and we all returned to work. I never did find out what happened after that, but it takes all sorts, and it's usually the ones you suspect the least. Nowt as queer as folk, eh?